Prova. Hello to everyone. I am Andrea Manghini from GeoMax Support and Training Team, and today I will present you the XPath Fusion module dedicated to the point clouds. As you probably already know, XPath Fusion is our Office platform which allows to integrate data from different hardware, also from different formats, like for example TPS, GNSS, laser scanning, digital layer, and etc. And we can use this platform to fully integrate this data, but also to create some other output, all collected together. From XPath Fusion, we can import the data from the GeoMax product basket, GNSS, TPS, level, laser scanning data, Zoom 3D, but also BIM file, but also import the data from the XPath field software. Not only from the GeoMax basket, but also from the other third-party software. In particular, we can, of course, import different laser scanning data. We can integrate the data with the topographic data formats. We can import also the point clouds generated for the third-party software. We can import field formats, drawing formats, and 3D formats. And of course, we can create all this output and export all this output together or to the third-party software. Now we will see together something directly live on our XPath Fusion software. So from the home menu, so this is the main software interfaces. From the home menu, we have two different possibilities to import or transfer the point clouds data. First of all, we can move to the transfer submenu. We can select scanner, and here we have the possibility to import the point clouds data from the Zoom 300, so our laser scanner, or from Leica BLK 360. Another possibility is to import the format file using the import file submenu, and from scanner data, here we have different possibility to integrate this data. For example, XPCL format is the format generated from the XPath Fusion, so we can also transfer point clouds from other XPath Fusion project and integrate with the current project. Another possibility, of course, is to import the X3A format file from the Zoom 300. We can import the PTS and PTX from Leica Cyclone, so after the import from Leica software, we can also export from Cyclone and import directly on XPath Fusion. Then another possibility is the full integration with the Autodesk Recap software. We can import the single scan, so the RCS format or the RCP from the project, but also then I can also show you that we have also the same possibility from the export functionality. Another possibility is to import the raw scanning data from Faro, so the FLS format, or import the point clouds as a ASCII file, so XYZ with intensity RGB, but also intensity and RGB data format, or other format. Here we have the two main point clouds format that all the software is using, A57 format and LS format. So with these two formats, we can also import point clouds generated from the third-party software, like for example, also from the LiDAR software, also from the other photogrammetry software, or the laser scanning software, and the point clouds will be already registered, just because the registration data comes from the raw data of the A57 LAS format. So in this case, we will use a TPS project. Here we have some targets measured also with the TPS, and I can also show you using a single point clouds. So now we can move to the clouds menu, and from panorama view, so from one of the two special view that we have, So panorama view is the view from the 360-degree view from the center of the laser scanning position. So as you can see there, we have some target, so GeoMax target, that you can use also for the registration. In that case, this target will be automatically recognized from the software, of course, if we use this target in the correct position. So just to show you the data that we will use, we can start with the first example from internal laser scanning data. Here we have 7 point clouds generated from the Zoom 300 and TPS data created from the Zoom 90. I can also show you from the survey measurement. Here we have the entire field book also with the data, with the type of the TPS connected and all the data that we can also check. So from the back to the point clouds menu, here we have registration submenu, rendering submenu, panorama view, special view, edit functionality to clean up the point clouds, and the possibility to directly create here the surface or the surface distance analysis. Just to start from the beginning, so from the registration, we can use 3 different registration methods, 3 different pre-registration methods. Cloud to cloud, that means that we will use 2 point clouds and 3 common points, the same 3 common points between the 2 different point clouds. Target registration with this target that can be automatically detected from the software, but also the other classical black and white target measured, for example, with the TPS or GNSS. Then we have also the automatic registration, which allows to automatically register the point clouds if we have the correctly overlapping between the different point clouds, and then the bundle adjustment, which is the refinement of the pre-registration. So we can move step by step. We will use, for example, in that case, the target used for the registration. Sorry, it is on the second screen. Okay, so in that case, I didn't measure the center of the point clouds data, but what I can do, I can move to panorama view, and in that case, there are some targets already detected. Here we can use the settings, and accordingly to the different target diameter, so in that case, only this type of the target that can be automatically downloaded from the software, we can select yes, detect targets, and now the software will automatically detect the targets in the area, of course, in the only targets with a good position. So in that case, we will use, for example, target 1. So I already imported from the TPS data. And this is the target 4. So here we can also check the deltas of the 3 different coordinates. And once we have the good accuracy, so as you can see there, we have automatically the snap on the target. We can upset this registration. And then back the software will move to the third scanning center. So in that case, I really don't know the center of the scanning data. I can select no, detect targets. So now the software will start to search the targets in the current position. Sorry for this small bug, it depends on my graphic board. So in that case, I have different target in a different position here. I can select, for example, again, the target 4, another target here, which is the target 9, and here the target 8, for example. So here we have also the deltas. So in case you have some more targets, you can also click on the other targets and start to define also the other targets. So in that case, for example, this target, I measured this target with a wrong position, just to show you that, for example, here we have the result about the registration. We can also deselect these targets and use only the first 3 targets, which are showed in the correct position. So the green icon means that we are inside the range. So yes, we can also move to the error scan. So as you can see, this procedure is very quickly. We need only to detect the targets in the corresponding scan and use the snap, the automatic snap, to automatically center the targets. So how many targets we have there? We have targets 8. This should be the target 6. Okay, and here we are. So for example, in this case, we don't need to use all the different targets, but if we don't have the correct overlaption, a good overlaption between the point clouds, we cannot use the automatic registration, but of course we need to use the target registration. So again, 4. Here we have the target 7. And here we have the targets, for example, 13. And now we are back inside the range. So in few steps, we can quickly orientate all the scanner data using the targets registration. So this 12, 13. Let's see if we can measure another targets. Yes, this is the target number 9. Yes, upset. No, I don't want to use these targets. I will move back to the registration. So I will also hide the scan number 1. So now we have only the scan from 2 up to 6 already registered. What we can do, we can use the other target registration to continue the registration of the scan 1 and scan new. How we can do it? We can simply move to the cloud or automatic registration, depends on the 2 different procedures that we can do. Cloud to cloud, for example. Okay, and here we need to select if we have already some targets. Here we can also select targets, or targets and go to automatically use the targets and automatic registration, but only if we have the targets in a good position. Otherwise, we need to manually, for example, on the target on scan 1, we don't have enough targets. Otherwise, we need to use the manual registration. And in that case, we can use the different rendering visualization. Color is from single color from each point clouds. Intensity is the black and white intensity visualization. Intensity colored is the intensity plus the different color for each point clouds. True color is the colorization created from the images stored from the laser scanning. By elevation, by distance, basically is the different colorization from the center of the laser scanner up to the farthest point, or from the lowest point up to the highest point. Normal is a different visualization which allows to colorize the different plane with the different colors. Confidence is based on the quality of the point clouds. What we can do here we can simply use okay, where we are there. So for example, target number 1 is too close to the scan 1, so it's not correctly detected. So also this procedure, the quality of the registration depends on the density of point clouds used. So also in this case, we have the sun just behind our position, so the target is not correctly detected. Okay, so this is the common point we can also use, for example, this angle. Now the software automatically will align the point clouds. We can also use the slice view to understand if we have in the correct position. Yes. We can also change the visualization colors and use two different colors from each point cloud. So here we have some error. And now we have two different methods to recalculate, also to adjust the position. Global adjustment, which will use the tie point between the 2 point clouds, on keep the adjustment by points, so by the 3 points selected. I will use the global adjustment, refine, and here we can simply orientate also the scan number 1 on the scan number 2. 5mm error, just because we did it very quickly. So also the error here is reduced. I can accept it. Now again, the software will move to the next scan, which is not registered. You can also move and select other reference point cloud, or we can use the other registration. So for example, automatic registration. So in that case, the automatic registration can be used also for a single point clouds. Just to give an example, okay, if we have the entire data set and we want to use only the automatic registration, the first scan will be the automatic reference scan. That could be the first scan of the, let me say, of a traverse flow, of the traverse path, or can be the center scan of a radius project. And here we can select the first reference scan and then all the scans that we want to register to this point clouds. So for example, we can select, of course, only scan new on the last one, which is not registered. No target has been used or target has been used. So here the software requires 3 targets for each scan. I don't know if we have enough targets, so I can select no. And here we have 3 different environment. So the point clouds is a architectural or urban environment, or terrain or mining. So in that case, architectural, urban. Speed and accuracy, here we have 3 presets, so 3 different algorithms, slow and very accurate, or fast and accurate, faster and coarse accuracy. So I will select the best one. Maximum number of scans connected together. Here we need to refer of the type of the project. So if it is like a sort of traverse workflow, a traverse path, or if it is a radius project, so with the center scan and then all the scans connected together. So in that case, I can select also, I can reduce it. All scanners are on tripod or mobile. Yes, in that case, the scanner was made on the tripod. Scan have a closed sequence, so in that case, like a closed traverse, is not a closed traverse. Scan are vertical, so adjustment by the scanner. If the scanner is equipped with the internal compensator, we can use it. Otherwise, we can also select no. Then bundle adjustment. So in that case, we can use only the automatic registration and then use the bundle adjustment, or we can do both process at the same time. So again, here what we can select is the adjustment error. So if the adjustment will be behind this value, will be completed, otherwise we will receive an error. And then type of selection, height, medium, and low. As suggested, height. Here we have also the other settings that we can use, for example, for the convergence or for the constraints. But we can also suggest you to not use this advanced setting if you are not an expert. But of course, so we are also here to support you. So in case you want to know more or want to also have some other information about these specific settings, and then start. So in that case, the software will use the automatic registration only between scan band number 2 and scan new, and then the bundle adjustment. Okay, in a few seconds now, the software will start to recognize the type point and then to perform the global adjustment. So the global residual error in that case is 6 millimeters. So we can accept it, and automatically software will load all these points from the registered point clouds. So now all the scans are already registered. We use also the different registration method. Here we can copy the point clouds, but we have also the same possibility here with a right click with the mouse, duplicate. We can group all the data in the same group, or we can also register the scan or fit through to the view. Here we have also the possibility to cancel the registration, the parameter, and cancel the registration position. From the rendering, we can enlarge or decrease the value of the pixel size of the point clouds. We can use a different colorization, or we can select different colors from each point clouds, which are listed also here, using the same AutoCAD color palette. So we already seen the special view, panorama. So in that case, we can move to panorama view, so the center of the point clouds. We can easily click on the next point clouds to move also to another position. Bubble view is a special view which allows to use the images generated from the point clouds. So in that case, is an equirectangular image created from the projection of the point clouds color on the images. And here we can also you can also visualize from my cursor that we can use the drawing functionality. Here we have the distance between the center of the scan and between the bracket also the accuracy of the current point selected. If the bubble view is not available, it means that we need to create the equirectangular images. How we can do it? We can select panorama. So in that case, we can import an external panorama to regularize the point cloud, or we can use from point clouds and create the current panorama images. So in that case, also in the current in the point clouds, I will show you also. So this is the point clouds project. Here we have also the JPEG of the rectangular images. And this is, for example, the point clouds generated from the center of the point clouds number 5. Of course, there are some hidden here which correspond to the points closest to the limits, to the minimum range. And then we can use the current equirectangular images also to measure some point. But let's see together some functionality dedicated to the point clouds. Here we have, for example, the surfaces. In that case, we can use a quick surface to create a quick surface from single point clouds, but also from the different point clouds. I'd like to give you an example. We can use the scanner number 3, quick. We can enter the name of the surface. Here we can use a single point clouds or multiple point clouds. Average point distance, I will decrease this value only to create quickly the surface. Decimate factor, here we can also use tools that allows to decimate the point clouds, automatically decimate the point clouds. Smooth surface, this is recommended in case you have, for example, a terrain surface. Then color style, fixed color, point color, so from the colors of the point clouds or from the panorama. Build. Maybe it's too much. You're right. Scan 3. Okay, it's not created. Let's see why. Okay, I don't know why, but then we have, for example, we show you in another example the option to use it for a terrain. So this is based from the terrain, and then 3D mesh, which allows to create also the 3D surfaces, but in that case with a limitation of the points that we can use. So in that case 100,000 points can be used to create, for example, the mesh of a particular or a part of the point clouds. Then surface to distance, this is another option which allows to create a point clouds, a new point cloud with a different color between the point clouds data and a reference plane. And then we have also the drawing tools dedicated to the point clouds. So in case, for example, we want to create the plane of this room, but also for other project, we can use different tools. From draw, we can, for example, select projection plane, which allows to automatically project the drawing on the reference plane. So just to give an example, we can directly enter the value here, or we can select the point. And now, even if the points are measured in 3D, will be automatically projected to this plane. We can also save it. And we can use the drawing functionality. Here we have, of course, all the drawing functionality plus create points in order to create also the topographic point with the same in the same cartographic system or corresponding system, local system. Otherwise, we can deselect this option and create only the drawing file. So, for example, polyline, we can start also to use some tools dedicated to the point clouds. So snap functionality, this is the classical snap functionality, plus also point cloud snap. So how we can select the point, nearest point, lowest point, nearest to the from high, average, highest, or farthest from high. Usually I select nearest. Here we can also select the radius of the pixel and accurate selection. And another important function, the smart magnifier, which is a sort of zoom lens inside the visualization, which allows also to create some other points. So now the software will automatically open also the projection plane. So this is zoom lens visualization. And here we have also some other option, automatic plane recognition. So this is quite important because if part of the point cloud is missing in the angle, we can use one point of one of the two planes and automatically will be projected to the center. And then type of selection, sphere selection, or another selection that I will show you later. So in that case, I can simply select the angle. Again, I can use the smart drawing functionality. And as you can see there, the polyline will be automatically projected to the 2D plane. So in that case, I can also deselect use Smart Magnifier and only select the points. Now I can reselect Smart Magnifier, just click in the position, and here we have also another option. So sphere selection or select section selection. So it means that here we have a sort of section. This is really useful in case we have a part of a facade. And again, here we have the automatically angles selection, and the point will be automatically projected to the angle. Here I can simply select the points, but then we have also some other tools that allows us to use, for example, right click with the mouse, intersection. So in that case, we measured only the point here in this angle. Then we can select 2 points in the other plane, and automatically the software, sorry, undo last point. Okay, I will select another point here, intersection. And here we are. Then I can simply hide the point clouds. So we measure 2 points in this plane, then we select 2 points in the other plane to create also the projection in the angle. Then right click, close. So in that case, I can reselect the scan number 3, and we already created the drawing for the corresponding room. Okay, now I want to show you another example dedicated to the, for example, to a mining. Yes, we can save it. Sorry, it will be opened in another Windows, just a few seconds. So in the meanwhile, if you have some question, you can also write me directly on chat. And for example, here we have a simple project created in a mining area. In that case, I used the automatic registration, and the software will automatically register even if we don't have a target point. What we can do here, I can show you, for example, the option to create the surfaces. Sorry, let me delete the current surface. Then how we can do it? Surface. We need to enter the name of the surface. Here we are only to scan, so we can also add this to scan to create the surface, the terrain surfaces from the tool. Generation mode, use all points or grid points. Then check triangle side length in case we have some sparse point that we don't want to use, and remove peaks again if you have some sparse point, so peaks point that we want to hide. Smooth surface, yes. Okay, let me call it terrain. Okay. So I got the error. Yes. So I need to create before the surface from the surface menu and then use the surface from cloud. Okay, close it. I can switch off the 2-point clouds, and here we have the surfaces created from the terrain, and we can also use some other functionality, like for example, surface volume calculation. Here we can enter, for example, from elevation in order to create also the current surface volume calculation. So for example, we can select directly here surface to elevation or elevation to surface, depends on the method that we want to use. Calculation zone, in that case we didn't select any kind of zone, but I can also show you later. Calculation mode, by triangles, by regular grid, by FB, which is used from our German friend. Cutswell factor, also with a calculate weight, in case we have also the weight of the current terrain. Calculate, automatically we have the preview result with also the section created on a corresponding elevation, all the result that we can report and save. Otherwise, if you want to create only a part of the report for a dedicated area, we can use add zone, and in that case, we can limit the calculation on a specific area. We have two options. By clicking on the arrow, we can use a predefined polyline or polygon. Otherwise, we can click here and directly enter zone 1 name and use the different targets, use the different area position. Stop command. So this is our area, and again we can use calculate, for example, again to elevation, selecting the elevation or using a corresponding entering the value. Here we have also the zone that we already selected. So in that case, again by triangles, regular grid, or reb FB, calculate. Now the calculation is limited to the specific area. We can save the report. Reference elevation, yes, reference elevation. Here we have also the value of the corresponding elevation point. Next. And we can create also the reference elevation different surfaces and create the reference surface. So other output that we can use automatically from the surface menu. Close, and of course we can enter here from the calculated volume all the volumes depending on the corresponding surfaces. So terrain surfaces, here we have the reference elevation and all the value that we already used, that we already created with this report. And we can of course select report and create the corresponding report also with the possibility to customize it from the report manager. Okay, now in a few seconds we will be also ready. So again, if you have any question, suggestion, you can also write me directly on chat, so from the GoToWeb webinar panel. And here we can also store the report. So now the report is also okay. We need to save before the project, and then will be automatically saved on the corresponding folder. So more or less we are using all the dedicated functionality to point clouds. Of course, we have also some other functionality which allows to to clean the point clouds or to restore the original filters for the point cloud, but feel free to write us in case you need some other information. So from our web page, you have also the possibility to visualize the video tutorials. So from geomaxpositioning.com web page, you can use product, software, XPath Suite, and from XPath Office Fusion are listed also the interactive video tutorials dedicated to the different functionality of the software. Okay, so I cannot see any question at the moment, but if you have any question also in future, feel free to write us at our email, so academy@geomax-positioning.com, and we will reply to you and to any comment or suggestion that you may have. So thanks again for the participation, and see you in the next webinar. Thanks again.